This is becoming less of a myth lately, thankfully. Decades of low-fat marketing have done untold amounts of damage. How did this myth come about? And was this a casualty of evolving science, or a planned conspiracy to lead us astray? Certainly, if your doctor says to avoid saturated fats, he or she is not intentionally lying. They just haven't kept up with the new research, which isn't really new anymore. But guess who had the most influence on the mainstream adoption of the saturated fat myth? Number 1, Ancel Keys, who published a fraudulent cherry-picked study falsely showing a correlation between saturated fat consumption and heart disease, also called the 7-country study. Number 2, the Sugar Research Foundation funded studies that, surprised, claimed that saturated fat was the cause of rising heart disease, deflecting from the real cause, which in general is sugar. Number 3, Dr. John Kellogg, whose family conveniently mass produces and sells low-fat, high-sugar cereal like Corn Flakes. Number 4, the FDA and other governmental entities recommending a low-fat, high-carb diet based on this garbage, crony, biased science. I don't think the average person realizes the power and influence of the sugar industry, its lobby, and its campaign contributions. Speaking generally, heart disease is when plaque develops in your arteries and causes blockages. There's a series of dominoes that have to fall to end up accumulating this plaque. No, eating too much cholesterol won't do it, and no, eating too much saturated fat won't do it. Here are the dominoes. Eating refined carbs and sugars multiple times a day, which causes chronically high insulin levels, which causes insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome, which leads to chronically high blood sugars, which is eventually diagnosed as type 2 diabetes. Then the inflammatory high insulin and sugar levels damage the linings of your arteries. So your body mobilizes cholesterol and other compounds to repair or patch the damage. These patches accumulate and become a clot, giving you a heart attack or stroke. Refined carbs are what put this process in motion. Carbs attached to fiber, less so. Fat, on the other hand, actually helps mitigate these blood sugar and insulin spikes. It does not trigger the same hormonal response that carbs and protein do. I eat a lot of olive oil, butter, avocado, bacon, animal fats, and other healthy fats, rich in vitamins and great for your heart. The food pyramid, now my plate, endorsed by our own government, will be and already is laughed at as a failure. And to this day, they still recommend eating a low-fat diet. Why haven't they changed it now that study after study has shown that it's dead wrong? Because then they'd have to admit their error has caused millions of deaths. Millions. Not to mention the money they would miss out on.